Greetings, everybody. It's Dustin back with another Listening Room album review. Today, we're going to take a look at another classic album that is celebrating a birthday today. 27 to be exact, released April 19th, 1994. It is a landmark album and one of the most influential albums in the genre ever made. Talking about Nas Illmatic. Just a really gritty, raw look at street life, at crime, at drugs, at growing up in the projects of New York, more specifically the Queensbridge Project in Long Island. It's kind of unflinching and raw record, but at the same time told in a extremely poetic way by someone who sounds as if they were 3 times as old as Nas was when he actually wrote and recorded this record. He was only 19 years old when he recorded this, and he speaks with the knowledge and just the vocabulary of someone far older than what he was when this album was recorded. Fantastic record, large collection of who's who of producers at the time. I know Nas wanted to have a lot of different styles. He didn't want one continuous sound throughout the album, so he enlisted the help of various different producers to kind of give the tracks a variety and different sounds. The album kicks off with the Genesis, which is pretty much just like an intro track. You hear some conversating, and you hear that New York City subway moving right away, and right away you're just kind of immersed in this world of New York. And track 2, New York State of Mind, right after it. This is a DJ Premier produced track. 2 lengthy verses by Nas, where he talks about being on the streets and has lines like each block is like a maze full of black rats trapped. He says that life is parallel to hell, and song features some samples from Eric B and Rakim, and also from Kool and the Gang, and it's really became the definitive track for the album, and just a fantastic opener. That opening verse is just straight out the fucking dungeons of rap. Fantastic. Life's a Bitch, next track, LES produced. Grover Washington and the Gap Band sampled on this one. This is also the first time that we would ever hear rapper AZ. It's also it's actually the only feature on this record. That's it. The rest is Nas. And this track is kind of unique. It marks the first time, but it wouldn't be the last time, that Nas's father, Olu Dara, he plays a cornet solo as the song is coming to an end. And despite its kind of laid back groove, it does have some dark lyrics. Life's a bitch and then you die. But it also sees Nas kind of reflecting, kind of waking up on his birthday and just being glad that he made it to where he is, that he made it through adolescence and the time that he spent on the streets. And yeah, really good track. The World Is Yours. That's like the Scarface inspired song on the record. Features a piano sample from Ahmad Jamal, and Pete Rock produced. Is actually the 4th single from the record. Really good one. Halftime, midway point of the record, track 5, Halftime. Probably the most important song on the record. This song was previously released on the Zebrahead soundtrack produced by DJ MC Search, excuse me, of Third Base. And the song was instrumental in getting Nas signed to Columbia Records. And Large Professor produced, sample Average White Band and Gary Bird, and also samples the musical Hair. Bass, drums, percussion with horns, some really memorable lines on this track. Never catch me in the streets without a ton of reefer, like Malcolm X catching the jungle fever. Fantastic. He name drops his buddy Ill Will, who lost his life shortly before this record was made. Talks about his love for the Jackson 5, and shouts out famed New York hip-hop DJ Mr. Magic. Memory Lane, Setting in the Park, another DJ Premier produced track. Nas kind of reflecting on life, just feeling grown, even though, he was, like I said, he was a teenager when these songs were made, but just having experienced so much life and so many things, growing up on the streets and growing up around crime. Just a song, just like it says, Memory Lane, just looking back. One Love, Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest fame producing this track. Few samples going on in this one. The drum break is from Parliament. The Heath brothers provide the unique little thumb piano that really gives the track kind of this hypnotic, kind of mystical kind of sound. Lyric wise, the song really unique. Sees Nas speaking with his friends who have been incarcerated, and each verse is like a separate letter, as if he's writing a letter to his friends, just telling them what's going on the outside since they've been since they've been locked up, from unfaithful girlfriends and worried mothers. And the last verse sees Nas kind of talking to this kid who he sees kind of going down that path, and it's kind of like a warning. One Time for Your Mind, Large Professor produced, bassline sample from Jimmy Gordon. Really just one of the more laid back tracks on the album, just kind of a day in the life, talking about getting high, watching movies, rooting for the villain. Yeah, it's a good one. And then we have Represent, another DJ Premier produced track. Really minimal beat, Lee Irwin sample on the piano, and a spoken word passage at the end from Nas about the people he grew up with, and some of his friends who are no longer with us at the time of making the record. And then rounding it out, It Ain't Hard to Tell. Large Professor produced. This is quite a few samples on this. Kool and the Gang. The hard rock band Mountain is sampled on this, and there is a replaying sample of Michael Jackson's Human Nature. Really cool addition. And yeah, that's the record, man. Hard pressed to find a hip hop record that better represents that time than this. This is credited with so many artists look to this as like a benchmark of hip hop, and this, along with Wu-Tang's 36 Chambers and Biggie's Ready to Die, really created a newfound interest in East Coast hip hop. And this record has been influential to so many people. It's pretty much the overall view that this is the one, as far as Nas. Like, it's said that he's never really topped this one. I don't know. I liked It Was Written. It Was Written was my introduction to Nas, and I think that's a pretty awesome record as well. But whether you're a fan of his later work or not, there's no denying the importance of this record and its impact on hip-hop. So there you go, man. Nas, It Was Written. Happy 27th. If you're new to the channel, drop me a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff will help me out a great deal, and I would greatly appreciate it. We will see you guys next time.